Are we translating strategy into small, clear, visible actions? Are we embedding accountability into every phase? And are we brave enough to stop or shift something that's not working? Because let's be honest, execution isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things well and doing them consistently.
Welcome to Prevention Leaders Podcast with Dave Closson, your source for insights into the world of substance misuse prevention. Each episode, Dave brings you the latest strategies, expert discussions, and real-life success stories designed to empower your work and inspire impactful change. Whether you're a prevention professional, community advocate, or simply passionate about making a difference, this podcast will keep you informed and motivated. Get ready to lead with a confidence that drives lasting results. Let's lead the change together.
Hey there, and welcome back to the Prevention Leaders Podcast, the space where substance misuse prevention professionals come together to get grounded, get inspired, and grow in how we lead. I'm Dave Closson, and today we're diving into something that cuts right to the heart of prevention work. Not just what we do, but how we do it. This episode is all about what I call the 5 pillars of tactical capacity. It's a framework designed to help prevention leaders move beyond the strategy sessions and binders into real-world action, the kind that creates momentum and, most importantly, measurable impact. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked away from a coalition meeting with a clear plan, only to feel overwhelmed the minute you sit back down at your desk? Or maybe you've been part of a beautifully crafted strategic plan that never quite translated into action because things changed or partners drifted, or it just didn't feel executable. If so, you're not alone. And this episode is for you. So let's dig into what it actually takes to build tactical capacity and why these 5 pillars matter more now than ever. First up, Pillar 1, strategic execution, turning vision into movement. This is the ground game. It's the muscle that turns vision into movement. It's what separates well-intentioned ideas from real-world outcomes. In prevention, we're good at planning. Strategic frameworks, logic models, logic maps. We've got it down. But then reality sets in. Funding shifts, partner organizations drop off, or we're just juggling 5 other initiatives all at once. Strategic execution is about cutting through that noise. It means taking your plan and saying, okay, what's step 1? Who owns it? What's the timeline? And what could get in the way? It's about building doable timelines, assigning ownership, and tracking follow-through. Here are a few guiding questions. Are we translating strategy into small, clear, visible actions? Are we embedding accountability into every phase? And are we brave enough to stop or shift something that's not working? Because let's be honest, execution isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things well and doing them consistently. Now let's talk about Pillar 2, situational adaptability, flexing without folding. This is a pillar that saved many of us during COVID. It's the skill of pivoting without losing purpose. Prevention doesn't happen in a vacuum. Communities evolve, policies shift, funding gets reallocated, new crises emerge. A rigid strategy in a dynamic environment is a recipe for burnout. Situational adaptability doesn't mean being reactive. It means being ready. It's about building flexibility into your systems so when something shifts, you're not scrambling. Let me give you a real-world example. I worked with a rural coalition that planned an in-school youth leadership program. Then the school underwent leadership changes, and suddenly, partnership was off the table. Instead of shelving the idea, the team shifted to a community-based model with after-school programming hosted by a local church. It wasn't the original plan, but it actually deepened community trust and broadened their reach. That's adaptability, not giving up, just finding another way in. To grow in this area, ask, Are we monitoring the landscape for emerging changes? Are we creating feedback loops with our partners and participants? Are we designing plans that can flex while staying focused? Adaptability is what keeps momentum alive when the unexpected happens, which in prevention is often. Well, let's move to pillar 3, sustained engagement, keeping people in the game. Here's the thing. Almost everything in prevention takes time, years sometimes, and excitement wears off. Stakeholders get busy, youth move on, staff burn out. So the question becomes, how do we keep people in the game? Sustained engagement is more than check-ins or annual updates. It's about making sure everyone connected to your work still feels invested, still sees value, and still has a reason to care. That means keeping coalition meetings purposeful, celebrating progress even if it's incremental, checking in on people, not just projects. It also means checking ourselves for burnout, because if we're running on empty, it's only a matter of time before others feel that too. Here's a quick reflection. When's the last time you asked your coalition members or partners, what's keeping you connected to this work? Or what would re-energize you right now? Sustained engagement isn't about hype. It's about belonging, shared ownership, and reminding people that their voice still matters. On to pillar 4, precision and alignment. If you've ever found yourself drowning in a sea of disconnected initiatives, you know why this one matters. Prevention isn't just about doing things. It's about doing the right things in the right way at the right time for the right people. That's alignment. Too often, we spread ourselves thin, trying to respond to every need. But precision says, let's ground our decisions in data, evidence, and context. Ask yourself, are we focusing on strategies that match our unique community needs? Are we relying on current local data to drive decision-making? Are we evaluating what actually moves the needle? It's okay to say no to good ideas if they don't align with your goals, because clarity beats chaos every time. Clarity beats chaos every time. And finally, pillar 5, resilient leadership, staying grounded when it gets hard. This is a heartbeat of tactical capacity, because let's face it, prevention work can be heavy. You're often dealing with deep-rooted issues, resistance to change, inconsistent support, and systems that move slowly. There'll be days when you feel like nothing's changing, days when the data feels just discouraging, or when your partners disengage, or when you feel like you're carrying the mission alone. Resilient leaders don't hide from those moments, they name them. They cultivate habits that protect their energy and perspective. They stay connected to their why and help others do the same. Resilience isn't about pushing through without pause. It's about knowing how to replenish and knowing. It's about knowing how to replenish and knowing who you can lean on. It's also about modeling that strength to your team. When they see you navigating setbacks with grace, it gives them permission to do the same. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, what helps me stay grounded when prevention work feels heavy? If you don't have an answer yet, it's okay, but it is worth exploring. So there you have it, the 5 pillars of tactical capacity: strategic execution, situational adaptability, sustained engagement, precision and alignment, and resilient leadership. As you think about your own prevention work, here's a challenge. Pick one of these pillars, the one that's calling to you the most, and ask yourself, what's one action I can take this week to strengthen this area. Maybe it's mapping out clear action steps for your next meeting. Maybe it's revisiting your data to realign your focus. Maybe it's checking in on your team to listen, really listen, to how they're doing. Whatever it is, take that step. Do it. Because building tactical capacity isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily practice. That's how we turn our passion for prevention into real lasting impact. Thanks for being here on the Prevention Leaders Podcast. If this episode gave you any new insights or reminded you of a need, please share it with someone in your network or leave a review to help more prevention professionals find this space. And remember, you're not just doing work, you're changing lives. Stay strong, stay grounded, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Prevention Leaders Podcast with Dave Closson. Since prevention is better together, make sure you click the subscribe button and share this and other episodes with a friend. If you have a topic idea or guest suggestion, follow us on social media or email us at info@preventionleaders.com.